Hey everyone. Okay, I am back talking about the spookiest time of year. And no, I do not mean Halloween. I mean those winter holidays that are right around the corner, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And today I specifically want to zoom in on health because here's the thing, whether you continued your health goal throughout the year or you kind of lost track of it somewhere in the March, maybe even mid-January timeframe, which is when most people do, let's be honest. No one wants to wake up feeling miserable with a food hangover or alcohol hangover on December 26th. And you definitely don't want to be feeling like that the week after Thanksgiving when you're trying to get ready for the later holidays in the year. This is absolutely exhausting. You wake up and you have a headache and a stomach ache and brain fog and you can't remember where your car keys are to go get your Christmas shopping done. Listen, it is a huge nuisance. And I will be honest with you and tell you that it actually starts on Halloween. And here's why. We pump ourselves full of sugar at this time of year. We drink more than we normally would at all of those events and activities. We sleep way, way less and we are way underhydrated. And don't even get me started with what's going on with basic mental health hygiene and self care, because most of us aren't even fitting in 2 minutes a day. So, today I'm going to talk to you about how to navigate and manage your health better through the holidays so that you can feel your best for the holidays and not start off the new year with a giant pile of regret, feeling like you're in the hole with your goals or you have had a setback with what you've been working on this past year. So, without further ado, let's get this thing started. And the first thing I want to talk about, because it's probably the most important thing, is rest. And I'm sure most of you thought I was going to talk about food, but no, rest. Listen, sleep has beat out exercise as the number two factor in weight loss. Not getting enough sleep is a major contributing factor to every chronic disease you can think of. It is a big deal to not get enough sleep, partly because it reduces our judgment and makes us more likely to drink more, to eat more snacks, to even bum a cigarette once we quit smoking. That's not a joke. When you don't sleep, your body actually functions as if you are already intoxicated. So you're much more likely to make impulsive choices, to have accidents, and to, in general, wake up with a lot of regret. But hey, I know it's a busy time of year. It's incredibly, incredibly difficult to get enough sleep in. And that's part of why it's so important to have a good, solid bedtime routine. At the holidays in particular, it is so important to do that nightly brain dump at the beginning of your bedtime routine. Get out a piece of paper, write down whatever's on your mind, and highlight or circle anything that you know is going to need to hit your to do list. This is going to keep you from laying your head on the pillow at night and having your brain just spinning with all the things you can't forget, right? Or all the great ideas. In addition, I always sleep with a notebook next to my bed, but at the holidays, I find it most handy. That way, if I wake up in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, if I have some idea come to me for an awesome gift or for an event that I want to make sure that I look into, I can just jot it down and I'm not trying to remember it. That can be one of the hardest things about sleeping. In addition, I'm going to highly recommend that during the holiday season, because things get so busy, you set a sleep warning alarm and a bedtime routine start alarm. And what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is if you know that you're going to spend a half an hour on your bedtime routine, set an alarm about a half an hour before that so that you can wrap up whatever you're working on, which might actually be wrapping. Let's just be honest here. You might actually be wrapping. So we want to make sure that we give ourselves a little cushion to get our bedtime routine started. Also, you might want to trim back that bedtime routine a little bit. Don't feel badly about trimming your morning and bedtime routines if you need to, so you give yourself extra time to sleep. That's what matters most. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is food, and I'm going to make this really, really simple for you because I think a lot of you right now are expecting me to say, stop snacking, stop eating the junk food. Listen, y'all. Food isn't just about nourishing our bodies, it's also about nourishing our soul. It's about connection to people and culture and to our community and our family and friends. So, depriving yourself or trying to deprive yourself of snacks is just going to backfire. And by the way, I do mean it's okay to get into the kids' Halloween candy while you watch a scary movie tonight. There is nothing wrong with that. Let yourself have the snacks. I will say this. Do not, do not skip meals to make room for those snack calories. You're much more likely to overindulge in foods that don't make you feel well if you are skipping meals. In addition, you will actually slow your metabolism down and it will cause you to retain a lot more of that calorie than you actually want. I rarely talk about calories. This is probably the only time you'll ever hear me even say that word. The second thing I'm going to tell you is to always have a vegetable. Now, I have a good friend of mine, and she actually set this super cool thing up in her house where everyone's allowed to eat what they want to eat, but they eat a vegetable first. And it's incredibly amazing how eating a vegetable before indulging in snack foods can actually change our appetite because when your body is feeling well nourished, you get full faster. And that means there's less room for the less nourishing foods, right? For the things that feel good and taste good, but maybe they're not the greatest fuel. And we want to make sure that we're always supporting our bodies well by giving them the fuel they need, which means we want to make sure we give our bodies the fuel they need before we indulge in other foods, simply so that we have the assurance that our body has the nutrients it needs to run at its best through this very stressful time. So, no withholding. Listen, no withholding, no stopping yourself from eating the things that you want to eat or that you love to eat through the holidays. Enjoy the holidays. Just eat a vegetable first. That's it. Eat a vegetable first. Don't skip meals. You're good to go. And every single time I've ever been at an event, there's always been like a veggie tray or a salad or something like that to start off the meal. Y'all, that counts. That totally counts. Grab a few carrot sticks before you grab that green bean casserole or pumpkin pie. Trust me, it is a game changer. Okay, so the number one indication that you are dehydrated, that you need water, is not thirst, it's fatigue. And we all know that the last thing we need going through the holidays is to feel exhausted, to feel fatigued, to have that like achy, oh, I just feel like I'm coming down with something feeling when we need to get stuff done. And as I say that, some of you are probably going, oh my goodness, I never realized that that's what was causing it, right? It's dehydration. So we all are pretty clear, I think, on the 1-to-1 rule, but I'm going to reiterate it here, which is 1 glass of water for every alcoholic beverage. This is really important. It'll also help keep you from getting quite so tipsy at your work Christmas party or at your in-laws where maybe that's not the best idea. But in addition to that, I want to just suggest that you carry a water bottle every single place you go. In the winter, I find that I already drink less water because in the summer, I'm hot, I'm thirsty, I want some cold water. So, what I do in the winter is I switch to herbal tea and I carry around hydro flasks filled with herbal tea. Right now, I'm actually just drinking decaf Earl Grey. Okay. And I want you to know it's delicious, it's hitting the spot. Sometimes I like the more herbal ones like hibiscus tea, but a lot of times I don't because they're a little too sweet for me. You, however, might love that if you have more of a sweet tooth or you're more used to sugar. You'd be surprised how much a hibiscus tea will hit the spot for something sweet. At any rate, yes, hot tea, if it's decaf, counts as water. Carry it around in a thermos jug or alternately carry around a bottle of water. Having it with you simply makes it more likely that you're going to drink it. It's really that easy. So, tip for hydration is just carry water, whether it's hot or cold, with you all the time. Sometimes through the holidays, we can get really frustrated with ourselves if we fall off of our exercise habit or our movement habit as we're in this very busy time of year. We may even be tempted to skimp on sleep so that we maintain that habit. And here's a place where you're going to be so glad you're watching this video because I'm going to give you a pass on movement because we're really rigid about what we count as movement. Every single year at this time of year, I do a 100-day movement challenge. And every single year, I have to reiterate over and over again that all movement counts. In fact, when the blue zones are studied, they find that the type of exercise or movement people are engaging in is actually everyday movement, not an exercise plan. And in case you don't know, the blue zones are actually the places in the world where people live the longest, where they have the most people living healthy over 100 years old. So these are very, very healthy people. And listen, y'all, they're not hitting the gym like ever. Okay. They're walking around in their communities. I think you're doing that at the mall. They're spending time in their kitchen cooking healthy meals. I think you're doing that too. So they're doing average everyday movements, and those things count. So give yourself a little bit of a break on your movement through the holidays, especially if it means that you have to take that time from something as important as sleep. Because remember, sleep is now more important than exercise when it comes to health and weight loss. Not kidding. So get the sleep. If you have to choose, get the sleep. Last but not least is self care. We often forget about this when we're thinking about health management, but it is an important part of mental health hygiene. The pressure and stress at the holidays can be really intense. It can be a lot. And for those of us who are coming into an already busy time of year, a little bit on the edge, pretty close to burnout, this can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. And a lot of times we get through Thanksgiving and then we just find ourselves kind of, crashing. We get a little bit of bah humbug. Things aren't going as we expect. We have way too much to do and way too little time, et cetera, et cetera. The best thing that you can do for yourself for mental health hygiene is to just take 5 to 10 minutes a day by yourself. Okay. Do a little deep breathing and reconnect with your thoughts. Now, I know that that sounds like a wild thing to do because it sounds like I started telling you to meditate until I told you to connect with your thoughts. Listen, it's very, very important that just as we take time to meditate, and that's wonderful, but I know a lot of us struggle with it, especially when we're busy and stressed out. It's also incredibly important just to do a self check in, right? How am I doing? What do I need? Have I slept well, right? Just to check on ourselves. Am I having anxious thoughts? Can I reset my expectations? What really matters to me today? And then to wrap that up with you are really doing an amazing job, right? Wrap that up with some affirmations. Wrap that up with writing down some of the things you've accomplished and taking a moment to be proud of yourself, because that is one of the best ways to manage your mood and your overall well-being and to love on yourself without having to spend a lot of time or a lot of money doing it, because I know we don't have a lot of those things, especially at this time of year. So I'm just going to recap real quick for everybody. 1, you want to make sure you're getting that sleep. Set those alarms to remind yourself to get that bedtime routine going. Set that alarm that says, wrap up the wrapping paper and relax for a minute because you're about to start your bedtime routine. And do that brain dump. I promise you it makes a huge difference. When it comes to food, just eat veggies first and don't skip those meals. In hydration, we want to make sure we're 1-to-1 with alcohol and we're carrying water with us all the time. And herbal tea counts. Movement, we're going to just give ourselves a break. We're going to count all of the busyness that we're engaged in as our movement when we need to, rather than skimping on sleep to get that exercise in. And when it comes to self-care, 5 minutes a day, do a little self-check, take a few deep breaths. How are you feeling? What do you need to feel supported? And make sure you wrap it up with some affirmations, writing your accomplishments, a good pat on the back, something really positive that helps you feel amazing so it's easier to move on to the next task on your list. Listen, you are absolutely amazing and you deserve the life you've been dreaming about. This holiday happiness series, this stress less, fear less the holidays, is a course offering through Upcycled Adulting. We'll be launching it on Halloween Day, so be sure to take a look at that. It will make all the difference in the world if you need a deep dive into any of these subjects: relationships, health, money, or expectations, traditions, and perfection. Be sure to check out our course offering. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Bye, everyone.